All right, Anne. So welcome. Do you like to go by Anne or Annie?
Annie.
Annie.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. So you just start where you are, tell me what's going on and we'll take it from there.
Okay. There's three big things happening in my life right now. Most present today is concerns about my mental health. I have a long time history of mood instability, and it can be incapacitating and very difficult to live with. And so I'm going through some changes with medications and getting some resistance from the system to access treatments that I believe will help. And so I'm really frustrated with that. It's making everything very hard, including having a sense of self and interacting in the world. So I feel like it steals my ability to be present, and it's very painful that way for me. Second thing is I am eating sugar, which is a toxic substance for me. And that's often related to my illness or my symptoms and medications. So that has me flustered. It's been a destructive, I consider myself a food addict, sugar addict. And then the third thing is less present today, but I'm in the process of a divorce. So that's got a whole bunch of levels of disruption. So it's kind of a cluster of those three things that are pretty present. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're likely related, but the beliefs behind them and the emotions are, probably.
Yeah. So when you think about and so the first piece, like just medication and not having it and not accessing it, and kind of a something about it's the institution, the kind of system, and you don't have the medication. Is that right?
No, I have medications that have proven historically not to be very effective for me. So kind of running out of medication options, and I'm trying to advocate for non-medication treatments, which I've explored, and there's some success. But the system, because of my diagnosis, says I'm not, insurances won't pay.
I see.
Even though my symptoms are exactly the same, if I had been labeled differently, I would get the treatment.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So.
Yes. Okay. So barrier there.
Yep.
Sugar going on here. Just watching yourself to the dance with sugar.
Yep. Destructiveness there happening, beginning. Yep.
Yes. And less intense with divorce, but that's still underway.
Yeah, I fall into rage around that and injustice in terms of how it's happened. I'm okay with the ending of the marriage.
Yeah.
But the way it happened is something I'm really struggling with.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I've been there and had all those kinds of thoughts, probably with just about all of it. So is there one, we'll use one as an open door point, to kind of land and be in that situation. And then we'll see how it might relate to the other things. Is there one that feels like it's got the most charge? And
I think the mental health feels the most pressing and universal. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So describe the situation. So see a situation, like if you had a movie of your life and you had just a snapshot of a moment where this is like, where the frustration or sadness or disappointment appears most acutely, really comes in. What's happening there?
You want the story? The detail of the story? So it's pretty recent re-experiencing of the helplessness of it all for me. I recently was transitioning from one medication to another. So I went off of a medication, and 24 hours, 36 hours later, I was completely functioning differently. I was agitated. I was scared. I had compulsive thinking. I was doing things that I knew didn't make sense that I had to do. So there was impulsiveness, and physical agitation. I have wet face, which is just crying for no reason. That's what I call it, wet face. Really painful and frightening and scared and not sure I could take care of myself. I couldn't take care of my father, helpless, just shocked. It's like, how can this be, this little tiny thing in my system going, and then my brain doesn't function? So it just was overwhelming, really painful.
Yeah. Okay. So that moment, do you have a moment of where you felt the most pain? Like you're aware this pill's out of your system, you know, or there goes the medicine, and you in your house, or you're not taking care of your dad, you said.
It was waking up, and upon awakening, just recognizing the experience was like, it's all different. Like everything's different now today. Why do I feel this? I can't like get out of bed, and I want to like die. I mean, just like it was waking up in this totally different experience. So it was that disappointment, the recurring nature of this in my lifetime. Just really sudden, just shock. I was not aligned with reality in the same way. It was like despairing, depressing, frightening. So it was just waking up and then having to tackle, I'm responsible. I have to go take care of my dad today, the dog, just everything felt like too much.
Well, this is an interesting, inquiry, and there may be more that comes with, where the despair, as it becomes clearer, but interesting to start just on that feeling of despair. And I got to get out of this bed. I'm in total despair.
I can't. That's what really comes to me, is I can't take care of myself today. I can't be alive today.
I can't. Okay.
I can't. I can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look. We'll look at with inquiry. It's like looking and then also feeling deeply that whole feeling of I can't do this. Okay. Is that true? You can't do it. You can't do life in that moment.
No.
Isn't that interesting? Say a little bit more about that. Where'd you get your no? You just knew no immediately.
Because I've survived it. I haven't taken my own life, despite lots of intrusive thoughts. I've never attempted, and to me, that's amazing. So literally, I can, because I'm still here. So I just have a lot of evidence of that, and I lost a lot of life. I'd say probably 6 years of my life I wasn't really living it, because I was symptomatic and in that state. But I can, because I did that day.
Yeah.
So evidence is I can do it.
Amazing, really, actually, to see, despite all the things that, I can't, and it just, life moves on through you. You're being lived in a way, but that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just be aware of it.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And what happens when you think it? I can't do this. I can't do it. So this feeling comes in.
Agitation. I get agitated. I'm feeling this fight, flight, freeze all at the same time. I can't do it. It's like, I can't do this. It's too hard. Why is this happening? So my thoughts start to really run away. A lot of bouncing from negativity, mostly negative, self-loathing, frustration. I get overwhelmed emotionally and mentally, cognitively. I just get really scattered and overwhelmed. Physically, I'm agitated, tears.
Do you see
Decision
any?
making is very hard. I can't get dressed. It's like just little things. It's afraid.
Okay. So if you couldn't have the thought, I can't do this, and we don't even have to know what you're supposed to be doing, like, or what you
Right.
think you can't do, like, just without the thought, I can't do it. If you couldn't believe it, like the thought can even be there, but if you don't believe it, who would you be? If you suddenly weren't able to think, I can't do this.
I would be, who would I be? I would be a present, aware, open-minded, open-hearted soul living life on life's terms.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. And I get to be that a lot of the time, but not when I'm sick and I have that thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know what that's like.
Yeah. And it's powerful to be in bed and have the sensation, like, that it's just, don't even have to get rid of that thing that you were feeling, and still not believe, I can't do this.
And not believe it. You mean, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a delusion?
It is interesting because so many strange sensations and thoughts and images and feelings run through the human organism, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really something, isn't it?
Incredible capacity all over the place.
Yes.
Unlimited,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. And I get it. And there we are. Sometimes there's pain, illness,
Yeah.
fatigue.
Yeah. Grief, all kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah. What maybe the mind talks about as unpleasant or unwanted. But yeah, without that thought, very interesting. Still woman in bed, waking up with the sensations perhaps, but
Yeah. I imagine myself just lying there, doing my morning gratitude practice and breathing and just reorientating. I mean, it's like if you were to go to a different travel and you wake up in this completely foreign place, it's like, so what would I do? I would need to look around. I need to say, okay, I need to kind of reorientate myself and adapt. I'd love to think that that's possible. I just haven't had that experience being able to do it very, very well, very successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like maybe something in you has done it, and it's just the thoughts about not doing it.
I probably do it I do it all the time, right? That's my life.
Yeah.
But maybe I just don't want to,
Yeah.
or I'm just tired of it, or I just
Yeah.
want it to be different. This lack of
Yeah.
acceptance of what is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so powerful to see. So turning the thought around. So without the belief, I can't do this. I can do this. Like I am doing it. How is that true in that moment, waking up in the morning?
How am I doing? How did I do it that day?
Or just evidence for, there's like a mind come up with a lot of evidence for how you can't do this. And I really can't do it. And all those pictures that you see about taking care of your dad.
Evidence that I can. Last time I was sick, I was caring for my mom daily. She was in her final phases of life. I was caring for her physically and also just preparing for her death. And I was also going through treatment, and I was pretty sick, and I still got there
Wow.
and showed up. It was different, but I still got there.
Wow.
So yeah, I was able to be present to her through that,
Pretty amazing.
even though I didn't really feel present to my own self.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a big evidence I can look back on. That day recently, my mom passed, and now I'm taking care of my father. And yeah, I got there. I walked my dog, who's an emotional support animal.
Mhm.
I drove safely.
You must have gotten yourself dressed and out of the bed, and all
I
the things
did. That's true. I
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
I got out of bed and I made a phone call, and I had some support walking me through the steps, calming me, putting a plan in place for what the next step would be in terms of making a phone call to a doctor, or just so I was strategizing even in the process of getting ready for the day, what I would need to do.
Wow. I mean, wow. Amazing to see what's possible, or what comes, even if you think you can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And it's amazing how that thought is still attached.
yeah. Well, I love the turnaround. My thinking can't do this, or
That's it.
my thinking. It talks about not being able to do it. It's just, it kind of like, it just, seems like it goes for whatever it thinks is going to keep you safe.
Oh, it like clings to a belief, right? It's like when you throw that sticky stuff on a window, like as a kid, you have this gel-like thing, you throw it, and
yeah.
That's what it feels like. It's just, there's this, I can't do it. I'm actually literally going through the motions. I'm doing it, but I can't be doing this. It's like,
yeah. I just love the way you describe that. It's so good to see. It's kind of like, even though the mind is shouting and playing its, drums set and doing everything that it does to be like talking about how you can't do it, there you are doing it. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
What's interesting about it is even if it's making a lot of noise and showing you images and talking and being there, it's not, look at that. Something in you just moves forward without believing it. Something in you you might be feeling some of it, but it's not being completely taken by what it's saying,
no, it's like the life force is living as if, it's like it's still living, even though it feels like it's dying. It's not dying, it's living. So it's this,
yes.
You can't have both at the same time, literally. Well, we can, but.
Yeah. All right. There's one more. Yeah, I can. My thinking can't. My thinking can't do it. So true.
That's why we're here.
Yes. And I like, I can't do this like live, whatever this is. This can't do me. Like, sometimes that makes sense for somebody in a turnaround, like this thing that I'm saying no to, that I'm already a part of. It's already flowing. It's in. It's not seeing me as separate. This thing that's this. I can't live
like this.
Yeah.
So I can live like that. I do live like that at times.
Yeah. And
That's
this is living me. Like, without the mind talking about it, it's just coming in and living me this way. I mean, what's the reality? This despair happens sometimes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just shifted into a lot of sadness and grief.
Yeah.
A lot of sadness and grief that it happens. I want it to not happen. I want to get a fix. I want everybody to cooperate with my efforts, and all that stuff starts. But at the heart of it's just a lot of sadness that this is part of my lived experience, and probably will continue to be on some level. I mean, it's a legitimate recurring. Yeah. So.
And if it wasn't so bad to be sad, I mean, I know it's so uncomfortable, like, oh, but if it isn't so, sometimes when you just break open into sadness and you just really, like they say, have a good cry in England, where I lived when I was a little kid, have a good cry. It's kind of funny, but it's like there might be some things to be sad about. It's okay. I don't know.
No, I actually love all the emotional experiences when I can have them,
Yes.
I'd much rather be sad than to just be in that place of
numbness. Yeah.
I'm not affected by anything. I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be depressed and sad and heartbroken than that. And that's what eventually happens. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Just want to be able to be present.
Yeah.
To life. Is that really asking too much? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Can I just feel alive while I'm living, please? That would be so cool. It is really cool when I can feel alive when I'm alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what's really good.
Yeah. And I love it that it comes in and you feel really alive and fresh and close and stimulated or whatever, just joyful even. And sometimes it's just very heartbreaking. Life. I don't know. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like whatever the mind is talking about that love is, or being present, it isn't really, I don't know. Don't even know. I don't know. Like the I don't know place. I don't know. So
the mystery of it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about where does the sugar impulse show up in all of this, watching that happen, if anywhere?
Yeah, I attribute, so morbidly obese most of my life, came into a recovery program in 2011 and maintained about 140-pound weight loss for 7 years. And then got sick, had symptoms, and got on a medication and gained a tremendous amount of weight very quickly, got back into the food, the cravings, the glucose intolerance, just this stuff that happens on these medication types. And I gained about 100 pounds in 7 months, maybe, really fast, terrible. Just dove right back in.
Yeah.
Any more recently, just this last 4 days, I think. Yeah, I started eating off my plan in terms of carbs. Have a very regimented, write it down, weigh and measure. Just it's been a lifestyle. It's been amazing.
Yes.
I love it. It's a spiritual practice for me to do those things, and then to just have what feels like my brain is saying, you have to have this, the compulsion, the just obsession over it. So I've had sugar for 2 days and felt it immediately. Food foggy kind of feeling. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've heard it before, but I like it softens a little bit around that, looking at our compulsions to say something in us kind of jumps out, and it's not like attacking us, but like just the best we know how to do, like just something in there that does that.
Yeah, I don't need to question the twisted thinking and the addict mind and all that. I mean, sure I can, but it really feels related. My history of the 2 times I've lost my abstinence has been related to this exact situation and the medications. And there's a physiological thing, and I'm not saying it's not me, but there was something biochemically also telling me to eat.
Yes.
And I did. And that's most people, when they are hungry, they eat. And my hunger signals aren't accurate right now, but that's
Yeah.
just,
So if you stopped, so say this, here comes this wave and this movement. If you stopped, what would be bad about that, says your mind? What would you, does it have anything that it doesn't like about that? If you just, let's go back to the plan.
it's actually was very similar to some of the description I gave you around the mood disorder stuff. I became uncomfortable, agitated, like I can't do this. I have to have it. This angst and agitation around this isn't the way I want it to be. I don't want this to be like this. This is hard. I just want to have it. And everything's not right because of this insatiability or this, it's like just wanting things to be different. There's this just sense of being juxtaposed, but this is not who I am. This is not really what I want, but it sure seems like this is who I am and this is what I want, and not being able to find an authentic voice in that. Like you said, it gets all jumbled. It's like, okay, who am I right now? Which, am I? Yeah, I get really transported by these strong beliefs and these intense emotional experiences that I have.
Yes. Yeah. This incredible, the power of the mind, like believing, having something and feeling it and then feeling even more of it. And then even what that means. And it's just, you're like in a whole entire movie, with
right. And then you're going to do like behavior management with yourself. It's like, come on. It's like, no, I don't think that's going to fly. It's like,
right.
I'm not driving the bus right at this moment. Right.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So let's just look at like, I have to do it, that thing's yelling.
Sure.
I have to have it. Okay, you got that because it's been recent. You remember it, but it's been recent too. Is it true? So just let everything be all there and answering the question. Is it true? I have to have that.
What's under that? I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Beautiful.
What came is I have to have that to be okay.
Beautiful. Yeah.
That's what happens. And it's the same as the other thing, kind of. I have to not have this experience to be okay.
Yes.
So they're the same in that sense.
This has to change for me to be okay. Yeah. I have to have it to be okay. So see if that's true. I have to have this to be okay. And you can even see there, what will it give you if you have it? Like, what is it saying? You have to have it. It'll relief. Okay.
Numb. Satiation. I won't be grasping. I'll have. So this I have to grasp it. Okay, I've got it. It's shit. It's nothing I really want, but I have it. It is. So something is coming up around the okay. I have to have it to be okay. And then the question becomes, what's okay? Yeah. And do I have to be okay?
Yeah. And am I sure like not having it would put me in a state of like that I can call that not okay, and it would be permanent. There's lots of that something would stick around or.
Well, yeah, it's like flopping it upside down. I have to have it to be okay. I have to not have it to be okay. That's actually the truth.
Isn't that amazing to see? Yeah. I think it'll bring relief, comfort, grounding, grabbing, something to satisfy my grabbing. But no, it will.
I have to not grab to be okay. I have to not grasp. I have to not. Yeah.
Yes. I'll have relief if I don't do it. I'll have grounding if I don't do it. I'll have rest somehow if I don't do it.
I have a sense of well-being when I abstain, I have
Yeah.
a sense of well-being.
Yes. Yeah. And lots of proof, it sounds like, for that. Yeah.
Overwhelming evidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I really like putting it in that way, those terms of, I just keep seeing what works and what doesn't. And the mind will come up with like, well, maybe in this situation, we can do this thing over here and that will work.
The exceptions. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just maybe today, I'll just do it. And maybe the grabbing will be really satisfying, but it never really is. It's always, if it's just so temporary, it's like just for a split second, if it is.
Seconds, literally seconds.
Yes. It's nothing, it's just nothing. So my thinking, I want to, I can have relief in my thinking in this moment. My thinking wants relief. My thinking wants grounding. Just my thoughts, not actually me and all that I am here. The life force that I am is okay. It's holding everything. It's holding my thinking and my feelings, this energy that's happening.
What comes to mind when you said that is the life force just is. Like something about dissipating. It's like something about, I talked about grasping it or wanting to reach for the food or the mental health or the whatever. It's like just the opening, releasing, I have my hands open here. Like just let the belief or the thought dissipate. It's like it's the belief and the thought that are actually causing my suffering.
Yes.
Largely. The psychiatric, whatever, brain chemistry thing, that's not pleasant. Sure. But the sense that I'm defective or I can't live with this or I should end it all or I'm a burden or
it gets very
pitiful.
dramatic.
I'm pitiful. I can't take care of myself. I'm going to end up in a psychiatric hospital forever. All of that is what creates this mountain of dis-ease.
Totally.
How do I another belief?
Well, just to see all that is in the future. It's in imagination.
Not presence.
It's not here.
Present.
And it's okay, because that's the mind just is so busy about the future. Like, oh my God, this is what, I got my tax bill and I'm like, oh, it just, there it was like, that is so much more than I expected. And I already am picturing myself writing the check and having to do it by Monday.
Right. What else you won't get? Yeah, no, our mind has that proclivity to go there. I get it. And that's all I really want is to be present to what is here, right now. That's really all I'm trying to do. I just don't want these damn things to get in my way of doing that. It's like, can't you just leave me alone? I'm all ready to be blissful here. Passionate and bliss right here. Get out of the way. I ask you too much. I swear, it's just like, come on, isn't that how it's supposed to be?
It's like you got a little sidekicks over here in the circus that are just like never change. So I'm willing, I'm willing to have the mind talk about dangerous things that are coming in the future. I'm willing to have that happen. I'm willing. It's just the mind. It's okay. It's not who you are. Your thoughts are not who you are. So I'm willing to have this thought, these thought companions, I'm willing to have them be there.
Hovering is one thing. Be there is one thing. So I guess to me, it's like, how do the belief or the thoughts become ingrained or sticky, like we talked about, to where it affects your behaviors?
Yeah.
Where it actually does alter you.
Yes.
Or so that's, where I get confused. I don't want to make it an intellectual thing, but it's like my experience is I can be observant. I can have the observing mind. Oh, there's some self-pity.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
And they're done that. But then there's other times where it's like there's self-pity. Well, yeah, of course. I'm pitiful, and then you get on that wagon, you
Yeah.
just say you all in. It's like, I'm going to buy out the whole show, not a ticket. I want to buy the whole show.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
And so maybe that's the struggle of behind the work, is you just keep doing the work, and unpeeling the layers so that, I don't know. It's constant. I guess it's just a diligence, but
Well, even
my
if you just
fantasy,
sort
we
of
get
like,
it done.
yeah. And even just relaxing with that, like, wow, I do not know. Like that feeling of surrender, but if it feels defeated, okay, but it's not that hopeless sort of despairing. I'm so small and I've just been crushed by this thing. Because notice the steadiness of you in your whole entire life still here, despite everything.
Yeah, that's just crazy. That just blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I have no idea why that is.
Isn't it something? I know.
I really don't. It's astounding to me.
Yes. And that's who you are, without the thinking, being believed. And I get what you're saying. It's like, wow, the sticky and the power and the amazing of the mind is so powerful. And it just goes into believing, whatever believing is, so fast, movement right into, I'm going to respond to this thought, I'm jumping and then I'm running for my life, but notice how much you think that you also don't believe. So that's kind of amazing. Like all the pictures that come through that aren't happening, and I'm not in the psychiatric ward. I'm just got scared of it, but then I forgot about it because something else is happening. I don't know. It moves quickly.
Yeah.
But there's gaps. There's so many gaps in between just actually thinking that it's true and going with it. And I love,
constantly needing to challenge the thought.
Yeah. You're living it in a question mark might not be so bad, might not be so hard as we think, because that might be another, like, I have to constantly challenge if it feels like a lot of work or something. It can also be a stressful thought. It's just another thought. It's another thought.
Right. So yeah, I'm just noticing even in the conversation there's this wanting to figure it out, this grasping for understanding, right?
Yes.
It's always this wanting. It's just this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just noticing it, and just I love curiosity and inquiry as kind of saving grace, really. I mean, when you think about it, it's like just continue to be curious about what your experience is. And
so
me of all people can say it's going to be different in the next moment, likely. I have a lot of experience with that. It's like, okay, that's just true. That's just factual.
I know. Just wait. But you just wait a little bit. If you ever don't know what to do, like just wait a little bit and it'll be different. You don't have to do anything.
The only constant is change. And I so know that to my core. It's like or the transitory nature of everything. It's like, you don't even have to stop and think about that. You don't even have to say, what's the evidence of that? It's already happening all in us.
Yeah. You could be so compassionate with yourself with that, of like just seeing, oh, I just got into believing something and I just really wanted to try again. Let's just double check that reaching, grabbing the sugar, maybe the little relief might be worth it. No, it never is. Nothing's ever worth it. It's never worth it. It's never worth it.
Nothing's ever worth what? What is it that we're doing? Turning away from who we are? The grasping.
Yeah.
The clinging, the grasping, the yearning, the leaning into, pushing for a certain outcome. Yeah, all of that.
Yes.
That's arduous. That felt really heavy.
Yeah.
That list of things that I do gets really heavy.
Yeah. I mean, so I love, there's like turnaround to number 6. It's I'm willing to have this appear. I'm willing to have this be in my life. those huge, heavy feelings, the thought running through that says, I can't do this because I notice I keep being able to do it. It's doing me anyway. So it's like, I can't, and I even look forward to, I mean, how astonishing is that? I look forward to having these thoughts again. Because even if they're like a little circus coming to town of dangerous looking monkeys coming into my house, if I don't have to fight them so hard, I don't have to fight them, or attack them with inquiry.
Well, the experience of having them and not being in battle is priceless, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
right.
right? Yeah. It's like, yeah, there's the impulse.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to sit over here and let you do your thing. It's like the non-attachment. The non-attachment is the willing. I'm willing to be non-attached. Am I willing to not attach myself to these thoughts?
Yeah.
And to this experience of my mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be reality though. It's like I have to. I mean, I'm grateful to have this experience only because I'm going to advocate and I'm going to keep fighting for me and for other people in terms of the system and stigma reduction and all that. But
yeah,
wow, it's hard work to say I'm grateful.
Yes.
It's not hard. What is it? It's tricky, slippery.
I just love how you catch yourself so quick. You're just like, what? Like you've got a little thing just going like, wow, oh no, it's not hard. That's not quite it.
Honesty is a huge value for me. It's like, it's hard. No, it's not hard. That's not true. Not hard. So I do have this little honesty meter in me.
There
I
it
do.
is. It's right there.
Let's be accurate. Let's be honest with your words,
Yes.
with your intention.
But isn't that beautiful? It's just like there's inquiry meeting exact whatever the mind is talking about. Inquiry's meeting it just immediately, and this way larger part of us is so open to whatever happens. I'll sometimes talk about like, what are your feet's opinion about how the day is going, or the sugar that's being reached for? Like there's your feet are down there and they're just living.
I love that. I've heard similar expression that hit for me was, if you want to know how you're doing, like, what are your feet doing? Like, if you want to know your thoughts, look at what you're doing, because those are your thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's like your behaviors are your thoughts and actions. So it's like, if you're not sure, just check out what it is you're doing. Like observe your behavior, and that's going to be insightful in terms of what are you thinking. If you can't go that way, go the opposite way.
Yeah. Just, it's like open hands, just relaxing and watching. I'll just watch and look. I love the safety of the I don't know mind. I know sometimes your mind is like mine. It'll be going like, but I want to know. I like to know. I want,
I think I know. I think I know.
Yeah, I do know.
Right.
It's actually so safe to not know, and we just don't know. We don't know. And I can follow what works. I can just follow the simple directions I know about what works and just see, yeah, there's turmoil came in, and that's okay too. Very human. The reaching, and just, or the rage that appears about divorce. That'll just, and then, oh yeah, right. I'm reacting, having a thought that I can't make it unless it goes a certain way. And yet I do make it. It's totally okay. I am okay. Like you said, it's great to see what is okay, but I am okay. There's just a pulsing life of it that's actually very peaceful, very quiet.
Isn't it all the world religions, wherever it's just I am, It's like, doesn't even have to have the judgment of I am this, I am that, I'm not that, I'm not this, I wish I were. It's just,
I know.
I am.
Yes. Yeah.
Tear it all down.
Yeah. Really beautiful, beautiful work. I mean, you're just beautiful sitting with you. It's just very sweet. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm feeling more centered and grounded and authentic in my thinking.
Mm.
Still sad and scared, and that's just the
Something really
experience.
kind of amazing about just sadness and heartbreak. I was at this wedding recently, the first wedding of the next generation, all the grown children of my sisters, and just that tears and the heartbreak, and watching that, and that they're moving away, and I don't know, that something's shifted, and my generation and my sisters and I are all like that. It's the ones watching them do something new, and that's just never going to be that way again. And I watch the things in my mind, oh, never,
Yeah.
always, and the temporariness of all things. And I just had that welling up of like sadness, and then like, oh, I don't want to be sad right now. And I just watched it, happen, and then it passed. And even right then, even in the middle of it, it's like, I'll feel differently later. I mean, it's just funny. Yeah. The weather report. Sometimes a hurricane moves in.
Well, we can't always believe the forecast either, right?
You got it. The forecast we cannot believe.
That's
This
for sure.
experience
Just
that's going
wait
on
for
right
those
now.
storm clouds.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, I love your genuine, authentic, and tears and whatever's there. Yeah, very, very beautiful to sit with you today. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for being so open around the process and the work, because I know it wasn't script. It wasn't like judge your neighbor worksheet and all the stuff that I thought I needed to be prepared for, but I do feel like it was real deep work, and I thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah, lots of love.
Peace. Bye-bye.
Bye.